Unions have criticized a new bill aimed at enforcing minimum service levels for the public sector during strikes as undemocratic, unworkable and illegal. Under the proposals, some public sector workers would be required to work during a strike. The business secretary said the aim was to protect lives and livelihoods. But unions have threatened legal action if the bill is passed, while Labor says they would repeal it if they win the next election. The head of the Trades Union Congress, Paul Novak, said that if it became law the legislation would prolong disputes and poison industrial relations, leading to more frequent strikes. This legislation would mean that when workers democratically vote to strike, they can be forced to work and sacked if they don't comply, he said. That's undemocratic, unworkable, and almost certainly illegal. The new bill, published on Tuesday, comes amid a wave of industrial action across the public sector as workers seek pay increases in the face of the rising cost of living. Laws requiring a minimum level of service during strikes had already been promised for public transport as part of the Conservatives' 2019 election manifesto. A bill was introduced to Parliament in October. The government is now seeking to extend this requirement to 5 other areas: the NHS, education, fire and rescue, border security, and nuclear decommissioning. To meet minimum staffing levels, which are still to be decided, employers would be able to issue a work notice to unions, setting out who is required to work during a strike. Under the legislation there would be no automatic protection from unfair dismissal for an employee who is told to work under minimum service agreements but chooses to strike. However, Business Secretary Grant Shapps pushed back on the idea workers would be sacked. No one is talking about sacking nurses. Nothing we are announcing today in this bill from the dispatch box is about getting rid of nurses any more than any employment contract has to be followed, he told MPs. Mr. Shapps said the government absolutely believes in the right to strike, but it is duty-bound to protect the lives and livelihoods of the public. We don't want to use this legislation, but we must ensure the safety of the British public, he said. Mr. Shapps said the proposed legislation was similar to existing laws in other modern European economies and it was not designed to ban strikes.